Hello there. Today we are going through multi-step equations and we're reviewing them. So the essential question is, how do I solve equations? Your learning intention: I am learning to solve multi-step equations. So you've got 3 warm-up questions. Pause the video and see if you can simplify the next 3 problems. Well, I hope you tried. So if we're looking at the first one, we know that we have like terms. So we've got 2x and we've got x. We also have a negative 8 and a positive 7. Okay, we rearranged so we could see what the like terms were. 2x plus 1x is 3x. Negative 8 plus 7, if I'm starting at negative 8 on the number line and going up 7, I'll end up at negative 1. 3x minus 1. For the next one, we have 3 terms. So we've got 3 times x squared plus 3 times 6x plus 3 times 5. All I did was distribute that number out front. 3 times x squared is 3x squared. 3x times 3 times 6x. 3 times 6 is 18, followed by the x. Bring your plus sign down. Plus 3 times 5 is 15. And I am done. So for the last one, once again I've got to distribute, but then I've also got multiplication. So as I'm distributing, I've got negative 3 times 4x minus negative 3 times 1 plus 8 times 2. So as I'm distributing, this should be in parentheses, negative 3 times 4 is negative 12, followed by the x, minus negative 3 times 1 is negative 3, plus 8 times 2 is 16. Do we minus a negative? No, we plus a positive. Negative 12x plus 3 plus 16. Last step is to add your numbers together. Negative 12x plus 19. Okay, so this is leading us into solving equations. You solve equations using the order of operation, PEMDAS. Parentheses, then exponents, then multiplication or division, then last you do addition or subtraction. You've got to simplify both sides of the equation first. So if I'm looking at this first equation, is this side simplified? No. Step 1, simplify both sides of the equation. 4n minus 2n, 4 minus 2 is 2n is equal to 4. Now I will divide both sides by 2, and n is equal to 2. For the next one, are both sides simplified? Is this side simplified? Yes. Is this one simplified? No. I've got 5v plus 2v. So, bring the negative 12 down. It will not change. Is equal to 2 plus, the 2 doesn't change. 5v plus 2v is 7v. Now we're ready to solve. Draw the line. Keep your column straight. I need to get the 2 to the other side. You think opposites. What is the opposite of positive 2? Negative 2. I've canceled out because that is 0. Negative 12 plus negative 2 more. They're both negatives, add them together. 12 plus 2 is 14. Put the negative out front. Equals 7v. Last step. Divide by 7. Negative 14 divided by 7 is negative 2, and that is equal to v. So as we're looking at this, we have to think about step by step what you do. I'm going to have you pause the video now. Can you distribute correctly? Can you do that first step correctly? Start by drawing your arcs to both of them. Now, see if you can distribute correctly. Well, I do hope you tried. So 24 doesn't change. 6 times negative x, negative 6x. 6 times negative 3 is negative 18. Okay, draw your lines. I need to get rid of the negative 18, so I'm going to add 18 to both sides. It cancels out. 24 plus 18 is 42 is equal to negative 6x. Now, divide by negative 6. A positive number divided by a negative number is a negative number. When you divide and they're opposite signs, you will have a negative number. 42 divided by 6 is 7. 7 is equal to x, and we're done. Okay, while we're working we showed you yesterday during the last class period how to check your answers. So it's always a good policy to check your answers on your homework, and I hope that as you're using your homework you will do that. We will check this one quickly to make sure we've done it correct. So for my check, this is 24. This is 6 times negative x minus 3. But x is negative 7. 6 times the opposite of negative 7 minus 3. Six times the opposite of negative 7 is a positive 7. 7 minus 3 is 4. And I get 24. So I know that it is correct. So when you're doing these, you need to make sure you check your answers and have the correct answer. Okay, for the next one. Start off again. Pause the video again and see if you can simplify that part. I hope you did. I hope you tried. Now check your answer. Negative 3 times 4r. Negative 3 times positive 4 is negative 12r. Negative 3 times negative 8. Negative times a negative is a positive. 3 times 8 is 24, is equal to negative 36. Are both sides simplified? Yes. So I will now draw that line. I need to get the numbers to the same side. I've added 24. The opposite is to subtract 24. When we have two negatives, we'll combine them with addition. I've canceled this out, so negative 12r is equal to. Both of these are negative, so it will remain a negative. 36 plus 24. Okay, so if I'm adding, if I take the 4 from the 24 and add it to 6, I get 40. 40 plus 20 is 60. Or 6 plus 4 is 10. Put the 0, carry your 1. 1 plus 3 is 4, plus 2 is 6. Last step. Whoops, I don't need it this time. All I need to do is to divide both sides by negative 12. And r is equal to, what is negative divided by a negative? It's a positive. I can put the positive there, but I don't need it. 60 divided by 12 is 5. So if I did it longhand, so if I put a 5 up here, 5 times 2 is 10, carry your 1, 5 times 1 is 5, and then you bring a 6 and you're done. So if you're still struggling with the idea of distributing, back the video up and watch it again. If not, anytime you want, you can pause the video and finish the practice problems here. If you can do the practice problems on your own, then you know that you have the correct concept. So we'll go through the next one, and if you feel comfortable, pause the video, go through the last two, check your answers, or pause the video, think about it, come back and we'll work together. First thing we do is what? Distribute. So 6 times 6v, 6 times 6 is 36, followed by the v. 6 times 6 is 36, it's plus 36. 6 times positive 6 is positive 36. Minus 5 is equal to 1 plus 6v. Step 1, distribute. Step 2, have I got both sides of my equal sign simplified? No, I've got 36 minus 5. So it's 36v. 36 minus 5 is 31, so it's plus 31. is equal to 1 plus 6v. Okay, time to solve. I will 6v is smaller than 36v, so I'll subtract 6v from both sides. This cancels out. 36v minus 6v is 30v plus 31 is equal to 1. Get the numbers to the same side. Minus 31, minus 31. That cancels out. 30v is equal to, these are opposite signs, so we subtract. 31 minus 1 is 30. Keep the sign of the larger, so it's a negative 30. Last step. Divide both sides by 30. And v is equal to negative 1. Okay, pause the video and see if you can distribute the next problem correctly. I hope you tried. So this will be distributed here and the negative 6 on the other side. The negative 10n will not change. 3 times 8 is 24. Plus 3 times 8n is 24n is equal to. Negative 6 times n is negative 6n. Negative 6 times negative 4 is positive 24. Am I ready to solve yet? Well, this side is correct, but this one is not. I have like terms to combine. Negative 10n plus 24n plus 24 is equal to negative 6n plus 24. Negative 10n plus 24, they're opposite signs, so we subtract. 24 minus 10 is 14. 24 is larger, so it's a positive 14 followed by your n. 14n plus 24 is equal to negative 6n plus 24. I need to get the negative 6n to the other side. I need to move the smaller variable. So I'll add 6n to both sides. 14 plus 6 is 20, followed by your n, plus 24 is equal to 24. Get your numbers to the same side. Subtract 24 from both sides. 20n is equal to 0. Do you see a problem with that? I don't, because when I divide by 20, I get n is equal to 0. Okay, the other way you can look at it, 20 times what number gives me 0? 20 times what number gives me 0? Well, that's got to be 0. Okay, the last one. If you have not tried any on your own yet, please, please, please pause the video and see if you can do the next one on your own. Well, I hope you tried. this case, we need to remember this is a negative 5 when we multiply. So we've got negative 11. That doesn't change. Bring it down. 10 times p is 10p, so plus 10p. 10 times 10 is 100, plus 100 is equal to 4. Negative 5 times 2p is negative 10p. Negative 5 times positive 11. Negative times a positive is a negative. 5 times 11 is 55. Take a minute, go back through the distributive property, make sure you understand. Okay, let's combine our like terms. I've got numbers on this side, and I've also got numbers on this side. So 10p minus 11 plus 100 equals negative 10p plus 4 minus 55. Okay, 10p. Negative 11 plus 100 will give me a positive 89. 100 minus 11 is 89. Equals negative 10p plus, well actually is it going to be plus? 4 minus 55. They're opposite signs, so I subtract. 55 minus 4 is 51. Keep the sign of the larger, so it's negative 51. Now we're ready to finish. Which is smaller, 10p or negative 10p? Negative 10p, so I will add 10p to both sides. I've eliminated it. 10p plus 10p, 20p, plus 89 is equal to negative 51. Next step. Subtract 89 from both sides. I've eliminated it here. 20p is equal to, okay, these are both negatives. I'm adding them together. So this will be negative 51 plus 89 is the same as 50 plus 90, which is 140. Last step, divide by 20. And p is equal to negative 7. Negative 7 times 20 is negative 140. So, how do you know when you're successful? Well, you know when you're successful when you can solve any linear equation. So this is solving linear equations.